The Endless Golf Podcast, brought to you by Toyota.
Welcome to another edition of the Endless Golf Podcast presented by Toyota. Joining me from Ocean City Golf Club is head golf professional Buddy Sass. And Buddy, it's great to have you on the podcast this time. A little different venue here. Normally when we get together, we always talk about the golf courses here at Ocean City Golf Club. Going to talk about your journey as a golf professional today. But before we do that, I'll give our viewers a little overview of Ocean City Golf Club. 36 championship golf holes here.
It is, Bobby. We're located down here on South Point, which is the southern end of the Ocean City area, if you will. So we're kind of at the tip, but we got 36 beautiful holes. Newport Bay is on the water, is just magnificent with all the views that you get over the water. And then Seaside, our other golf course, the older golf course, is the old style Donald Ross, if you will, and it's a tough track. It's hard to hit the greens. They're little. The ball rolls off. It's tough to chip. So two very different, very unique golf courses in their own way.
It's funny, when I saw you this morning, I said, you know, buddy, we have the same color hair now. And it's been amazing, but it's been an amazing journey for you. 40 years in the golf business. 1987, you became a Class A golf professional. What a great journey. Talk to us a little bit about how you got into the golf business.
Well, Bobby, you know, when I was growing up, I played two sports, really, basketball and golf, and I loved basketball. But, you know, my ceiling was not quite as high in basketball as time went on. So I gravitated towards golf, and in college I had some success. I was studying to be an accountant, and you know, in the spring, it's tough to make that call. I had a hard time posting for work, and I realized pretty quickly that I probably should be doing something in the golf business rather than taking care of other people's book work. And so I joined the PGA in '84, working outside of High Point, where I went to college. And it just kind of went from there. I worked a couple of years there, and then I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, and worked a couple of years there, and then eventually ended up back in the Ocean City area with Hunt Crosby and Frank Scott and their group, and we built the beach club, and it just kept growing from there. I ended up at Ocean Pines, and then Deer Run, where we built another golf course. We called it Greenfields at the time. And of course, then I got the gift of a lifetime when they showed an interest in me in 1998 to come here to Ocean City, and I've been here ever since.
Now, when you got in the golf business back in the early 80s, what were your expectations? I mean, you know, a lot of guys who get into the business think, I'm going to be playing a lot of golf, having a lot of fun, but there's really so much more to this job than playing golf, obviously.
Yeah, there is, Bobby, and so, you know, I think it's without exception, almost all of us get in the business because we love the game and we love to play. And I was no different than anybody else. And as an assistant, when I first started, I took every second that I had off and I played golf, either with the members or working on my game or playing in tournaments. And then you find out very quickly that it's a business. And the first couple of clubs where I worked in the Carolinas, they were very private clubs. And so there was a lot of attention given to the members, and you find out that it really is service. That's what you do, and you just fulfill their needs, whatever they need when it comes to golf and their games and things. And so you find out that, you know, you work not a 40-hour week, you work 60 plus, sometimes 80 hours in a week, but it's in an atmosphere that you enjoy with people that you come to love and admire. And so it's really not hard work in that sense. You enjoy it, but it is a lot of work.
Well, the one thing that I've noticed over the years dealing and having the pleasure to meet so many different golf professionals is you guys and ladies wear a lot of different hats. You know, whether it's working with the superintendent on the golf course or whether it's working at the restaurant, the pro shop. I mean, every aspect of the business. You mentioned it is a business, obviously, and there's so many different types of businesses within the golf business.
There are, and you know, it's funny, after all of these years, and you know, when things happen with personalities or folks aren't happy or this or that, you know, you take care of that, and that's all obvious, I think, to folks, that you're trying to keep your customers happy and excited and a raving fan, if you will, of your facility. But it's funny, for the last 40 or so years, every time I go into a boardroom, they hand you a P&L. So, you know, so in the day-to-day, it's all about keeping people happy. But then when you go into the back room, they're like, hey, this or that, the expenses, we're not covering them, or we need to do this, we need to, probably the biggest item is, what do you do for capital improvements, because it's such a capital intensive business. And so people don't think about that, that in every dollar that comes in, you've got to peel out a little bit of that to keep up the club, which we've done very well with here recently at the Ocean City Golf Club, is just keeping up with the infrastructure.
Well, anybody that knows Buddy Sass knows that he is a people person, and people just love him. They gravitate to him. You do a lot of teaching as well, but that part of it probably came pretty natural to you, dealing with people. The other side of it, dealing with some of the other aspects, being the boss, so to speak, and dealing with the employees. One of the things that you've told me over the years is you've really surrounded yourself with good people, and it makes your job a little bit easier.
It is, and I do. The best thing you can do is make a good hire and use people's strengths. So I have certain strengths, and then I have some weaknesses. One of my biggest weaknesses is I don't tend to follow the rules sometimes when it comes to day-to-day stuff, and I'll kind of wing it. So surrounding myself with folks that are task-oriented, that play within the boundaries, that do certain things to keep the business on track is very, very important for me, and something that I need to realize. But you learn that over time, that somebody will come in and they're particularly good at this aspect of the business or that. You're very rarely going to find someone in this business that's good at everything. So you take their strengths and magnify them, and then kind of eliminate the weaknesses and hire to fill different gaps that you have in your employee.
And you mentioned in the beginning you worked at a few higher-end private clubs, and now you're at a golf course where you have members, but it's also open to the public. A very different experience. You're dealing with the membership, trying to make them happy, but then you've got your daily fee customer. In our case here at Ocean City, you've got the golf packager coming here, having a good time at Ocean City. So that really gives it a different dynamic as well.
It really does. It's the hardest part. It's the trickiest thing, is to try to keep a member who has an expectation of a certain level of service happy, but then financially, to make the business work, you have to have other levels of golf, whether sometimes it's higher end where folks are paying a premium to play your golf course, or just even the last minute or local tee times. So you're blending, or tournaments. So you're trying to blend all of this to maximize your revenue in and make a profit at the end of the day, while keeping that hard core group of what we call platinum members happy.
Well, mentioning the platinum members, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, talk about the membership here at Ocean City Golf Club, some of the changes you've made here, and looking at the future of golf moving forward. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
And now a word from our sponsor.
I love a good adventure, and my friends and family do too. So we all drive Toyotas. Tacomas for my rugged buds, and Corollas for my city crew. And I drive a RAV4 that I take camping, shopping, and basically everywhere else. We all picked our Toyotas because they're reliable and efficient and have amazing resale value, saving us money now and down the road, so we can make every day an adventure. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals and inventory. Toyota, let's go places.
And welcome back to the Endless Golf Podcast, presented by Toyota. Staying with me is head golf professional here at Ocean City Golf Club, Buddy Sass. And Buddy, before we get into more of the golf business, I think we've got an anniversary coming up here next week. It's the holiday season. You got married a year ago to Sylvia. You guys are just a great couple, and I just want to say happy anniversary to both of you.
Well, thank you so much, Bobby. It's just been magical, and what a great gift that I was given with my wife Sylvia. She's the best. She's so supportive and loving, and it's been the greatest. And I guess we've known each other and been a couple for a long time, almost 10 years, but the last year's been magical and great. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, and it's not easy being a spouse of a golf professional, that's for sure. Like you alluded to earlier, I think a lot of people don't understand the amount of time and effort that you put into this, because there's so many different things that go into this job. One of the things that you do too is you deal with the condition of the golf course. I know it's not your focus, but you deal with the superintendent here, Mike Salvio, who does a tremendous job. And and I know that when the course is in great shape, it makes your job so much easier. And hats off to Mike, because Mike has done a tremendous job with both golf courses here at Ocean City Golf Club.
Mike's the best, and again, Mike's when it comes to my golf family, Mike's been a great gift. He He understands, he came from the corporate world, so not only does he understand that golfers want a certain condition, but he also understands the profit and loss situation that we run into in the back room. So, Mike and I are able to sit down and talk in generalities, but knowing he understands. So one of the things that we strive for, which we've worked on really since the first day he came, is not to have conditions that go up and down so much, but that it's a little smoother, a little more even. So, you might not get the 13 plus greens, speed on the greens that you may get occasionally at some other golf courses, but our greens have been pretty solid and good throughout the summer during the tough times. And then this year with the drier fall and winter, he's been able to maintain green conditions really up until today at this discussion, which is in mid-December.
And you talked about your hours and how much time and effort you put in it, but the staff who on the maintenance crew at any golf course put in a lot of hours and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get the golf course in great condition. And their day, as long with the cart guys here, they start awful early.
They do. They're here, at 5:30 for some of them. All of them are here before 6. And they're out doing their work as soon as they can see, and along with the bag drop guys that are pulling carts at the same time, because we do start early. It's a long day. We're a busy facility at 70,000 plus rounds, so there's a lot of work to do before you ever hit that first ball. And they do just a great job. And one of the great things about Ocean City, which we're doing this week, is we're trying to do something which we do every year to look after and say thank you, which is member-oriented, member-generated, that they do a little collection and stuff. It's a nice amount of money and a great way to say thank you to the unsung heroes, the bag drop guys and certainly the maintenance guys that are here so early in the day working before we ever even approach the facility.
Absolutely. It really is a great idea to give back. And one of the things I always say is to support your club, whether you're a member here at Ocean City Golf Club or a member anywhere at any club that you're a part of. Buy something in the pro shop to support your golf professionals. Spend money in the restaurant. That all helps your experience as a member when you play that golf course, because money comes from somewhere, and if you don't support the club, it's hard for the golf professional to have equipment or apparel. It's hard for the restaurant to be good if you're bringing in your own food or whatever. So support your golf club. I think that's a key for members, and a lot of the members here, they do a good job of that.
They really do, but that is one of the things that I think in today's world, in the old days, you came up as a caddy, so you kind of learned all that. But one thing I think a lot of golfers don't know is when you approach a facility, the bag drop guys, a lot of the pro shop people, they're paid more or less as a tipped employee. So if the tips are how they make their money. And not as much today, but I'm an old-fashioned golf pro because I've been around so long. A lot of our compensation packages are based on, the sales that we do in the golf shop. So it's not extra, it's a part of how they come to the number. So when you're around a golf course and you see folks at the bag drop or you get good service, a bunch of the positions in and around a golf club are essentially what we'd call a tipped position, where they depend on that extra to be able to make the minimum wage or what they're supposed to make.
I know you and your staff do a tremendous job of making sure everybody has a great experience at Ocean City Golf Club. Whether it's a member or the group that's coming on a golf package to Ocean City. Golf is supposed to be fun. You certainly make it that way here. Everybody has a smile on their face, whether it's the bartenders, the cart girls. Everybody tries to treat everybody to have a fun day, and really it is a great time to spend here. And the back of Newport Bay, it doesn't get much better than that.
It doesn't, Bobby. It all starts with, it ain't brain surgery here at the Ocean City Golf Club. Our goal is for everybody to have fun. That's really how it is. A couple of us have to worry about the profit and loss, but everybody else, it's about having fun and enjoying the golf game and not taking it too seriously, not ourselves, not our game, not the club. And it's easy to do, and it's an easy prospect to achieve when you have this beautiful back nine of the Newport Bay Golf Course. I mean, it's hard not to have fun, no matter how your golf game is, when you see that sun over the water.
And if you haven't played here at Ocean City Golf Club and been in the clubhouse, there's been some changes. A few years ago, John Barrett and your board, along with you, came up with an idea of an anniversary membership, and that was such a huge success. It gave the club an influx of money, and as a member here, I certainly appreciate the fact that you guys came up with something creative, just made the experience even that much better.
It did, Bobby, and we had this situation, as a lot of golf courses did, where we had all this extra space, all this extra inventory of tee times, and we were trying to come up with ways to, to make our profit, our business plan work better. And a friend of mine just suggested that there's a way to do it through this thing called an anniversary membership. It's run by a company in Florida. I had no idea. The board and myself took a while to understand it, but once we took the time and got to understand the product and how it's sold, it made perfect sense, and it's worked. It's created a little niche for us in the marketplace, and it's brought in the much needed funds. And the board has done a great job of not just taking all the money and putting it in the bank. They've reinvested it in the property, and we're starting to really see how that's the fulfillment of that with the stuff that they've done around the building. I've done a bunch of things on the golf course maybe that aren't as noticeable, but the work on the building this past year has really jumped out.
It's amazing, buddy. I feel very fortunate to be a small part of the golf business, and but looking from the outside in my case, and looking at different entities of golf, and looking how difficult it is to own a golf course. People think if you own a golf course, you have a lot of money and you're going to make a lot of money. That's not always the case. The two people I have the most respect for in business are golf course owners and restaurant owners. Two very difficult businesses, and you really got to be on top of things to make both of those work.
You really do, and it's an amazing thing. So you take two really hard businesses and then you put them together, which makes it feel like it's almost impossible. And that's why you have to think of it sort of holistically, that the two go together, and we try to do that. So I know you hang out with some guys and play here some where it's all about the fun. It starts with when they get here to have a late breakfast or a lunch, but then we don't know how long they're going to stay, and we're good with that. So it's the restaurant and the golf and all of the above comes together to give, in particular, your group of guys an experience that could last all afternoon and maybe into the evening, which is
it does sometimes.
And sometimes late evening, right?
That's a fact.
But they're having fun, and it's good fun, and they're enjoying each other, and that's what I love about it. I have the greatest perch that there is. I get to sit up here and watch your group and that group and watch people just have a great time, and that does my heart good. That's one of the great benefits of being a golf pro. People can come up with a lot of reasons why it's not a great job, but the reason it's a great job is because you get to know people like Bobby Vermillion. You get to meet people having fun. You get to see them at their best when they're having a good time. It's all very uplifting when you're around a golf club, which I love.
And we certainly love being around you as well, buddy. There's no doubt about that. The experience here too has changed because you've updated the clubhouse, totally redesigned it. We're sitting in front of the fireplace here. Obviously, it's the holiday season, and that's been a tremendous addition, as well as the locker rooms as well.
It has. It's hard, and the golf business has been through ups and downs, and for a bunch of years, probably a decade or more, we suffered through a tough climate for golf courses, and so we didn't make some of the investments that maybe we should have in terms of our facility and where people spend the most time, which is out on the golf course and then again right in the restaurant. But once we were able to, and the board was able to allocate the funds, we got a great upgrade and just a totally new look. It's very different. It's very modern. It's very comfortable, and we can tell the difference just in the bar. Our bar that we had here for 45 years or 40 years was a bar that you stood at, you walked up to, and just making that a place that's comfortable where you can sit down and watch TV. It's been a total change for us to get people to hang out and to stay, which is magnificent.
And buddy, the future of Ocean City Golf Club, your situation now, I've been here 24 years, in the golf business 40 years, as we talked about earlier. Where do you go from here? I mean, you're going to back off a little bit. It's your time to kind of enjoy yourself and actually get to play a little bit more golf as well.
Bobby, I'm 60. I mean, I never thought I'd make it to say. I don't know. I guess we're all that way for all those years, I just guessed I'd never would reach 60. I would always be 40-something or
Right.
50-something, right? But now I'm 60. So yeah, I can't tell a lie, right? When I was 58, I didn't think about the end. But when I turned 60, I do think about it a little bit. But the good news is I've been having so much fun with John Barrett and with his ideas and all the things that are going on that I see myself in a place with the Ocean City Golf Club for a good long time yet. Now, maybe I'll get some change in the help or my duties at some point. I'm not sure how that'll play out, but it's fun now. We're doing things, and the membership's growing. Both the Platinum and the Anniversary are on the rise. So it's a lot of fun to be around work. So,
And I know Will plays golf, your son, and you have 2 beautiful daughters as well.
Both my daughters are good players. They don't play as much as Will. Will's a really good player. But all my kids play the game very well when they do play, and Will plays a lot.
That's not shocking, by the way.
But they're and they're nice kids, and they live around. So the opportunity to kind of stay close and maybe
And they
hang
grew
out.
up at the club as well. They grew up around the golf course.
All 3 of them worked here, so they understand the business and what goes into it, and they understand a lot about what a golf club is, and to be able to hang out with them once in a while and play some golf. And Sylvia's 2 children, Owen and Grace, are super nice, and they're getting in. Grace is playing some golf, and we're trying to convince Owen to play a little bit. And it's just a great way to spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours with people that you love and care about. So, that part, it's still there. The future's still bright, and I don't see the end in any near future, but maybe over time a little bit of a change in my duties.
We're on the back 9, buddy, for sure. We just don't know what hole we're on right now. I'm thinking maybe 15 or so. I don't know. I'd like to think 13, but it could be 15. But you know what? What a great game this is, and a great business to be a part of. Again, I feel blessed to be kind of looking from the outside in. Thanks again for all the hard work you've done here at the Ocean City Golf Club to make my experience as a member great, and for everybody else I think I could speak to as well. So thanks for spending time with me this morning on the Endless Golf Podcast, and we'll see you down the road for sure.
Yes, you will.
The Endless Golf Podcast has been brought to you by Toyota.